Intro June 2025. For the first time in history, Israel has launched a full-scale assault deep inside Iranian territory. The region is now at the brink of a broader war, and the world is watching closely. What caused this dramatic escalation? Who stands to gain or lose? And how far could it go? Let's break down the Israel-Iran war. What's happened, why it matters, and what could come next. Part 1. The strike that shook the region on June 13, 2025. Over 200 Israeli fighter jets launched coordinated strikes across Iran. The targets were not just symbolic, these included nuclear enrichment sites in Natanz and Fordo, military command centers, and energy infrastructure around Tehran and Isfahan. But this wasn't just a military show of force. According to intelligence leaks, Israel deployed Mossad operatives inside Iran to sabotage air defenses and radar systems hours before the airstrikes. The operation was planned down to the minute, and Iran's early warning systems failed to detect the assault. Iran called it an act of war. The question is, what comes next? Part 2. Iran's retaliation. Iran wasted no time. Within 48 hours, it launched a wave of ballistic missiles, many aimed at Israeli airbases, civilian centers, and infrastructure. At least 30 medium and long-range missiles were fired, along with dozens of drones. While Israel's Iron Dome and David Sling systems intercepted many, several warheads did land, causing casualties in Tel Aviv and Haifa. Iran also shot down an Israeli Hermes 900 drone over its territory, another sign that the conflict had gone from covert to conventional. Part 3. The strategic picture. This is not just tit for tat retaliation. Israel's goal appears to be twofold. 1. To dismantle Iran's nuclear infrastructure before it reaches weapon grade capability. 2. To degrade Iran's missile and drone capacity enough to prevent a second front war involving Hezbollah or Hamas. Military analysts believe Iran has already used a significant portion of its long-range missile stockpile, perhaps 30-40 in just the first week. That could weaken its deterrence, especially if the conflict drags on. Israel, meanwhile, has reportedly kept its F-35 squadrons in reserve, signaling that even more advanced operations could follow. Part 4. Civilian impact and domestic fallout in Iran. The human toll is mounting. Civilian areas in Tehran, Isfahan, and Shiraz have seen power outages, fuel shortages, and at least 200 confirmed fatalities. Over 100,000 people have been displaced. There is growing unrest within Iran, not just against Israel, but against the regime itself. Many Iranians are asking why the government failed to prevent such a large-scale attack. The hashtag #WeWeren'tWerdy has been trending among Persian users on Telegram and X. Part 5. Global reactions and alliances. The United States has so far held back from direct involvement, but reports suggest B-2 bombers and naval strike groups have been moved into the Gulf region as a deterrent. President Trump has issued a warning to Tehran: de-escalate or face consequences. Meanwhile, Russia and China have called for immediate ceasefire talks, though both are quietly concerned about energy disruptions and regional instability. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have condemned the strikes publicly, but behind closed doors, analysts say they're not displeased to see Iran weakened. Part 6. What could happen next? Here are four possible scenarios. 1. Stalemate and attrition. Both sides continue low-level missile and drone attacks for weeks, gradually depleting their capabilities. 2. U.S. intervention. A red line, perhaps another nuclear facility hit, prompts the US to strike Iranian targets, potentially drawing in more countries. 3. Iranian regime crisis. Protests grow, the economy tanks, and internal cracks widen, possibly destabilizing the government. 4. Surprise diplomacy. Mediators, maybe Qatar or Turkey, broker a ceasefire after enough damage has been done to warrant negotiation. Part 7 Global Stakes. The world has a lot riding on how this plays out. Oil prices are already surging, especially as tankers avoid the Strait of Hormuz. Energy importing nations in Europe and Asia are bracing for an economic ripple effect. There is also the precedent this sets. Direct strikes on nuclear facilities during peacetime are rare and dangerous. If this becomes normalized, future conflicts could escalate much faster and with more devastating consequences. Outro. The Israel Iran war is no longer a shadow conflict. It's real, it's deadly, and it's far from over. The coming weeks will shape not only the Middle East but the global order. We'll be watching closely, and so should you. Subscribe for our next breakdown. What happens if the US joins the fight? Like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Where do you think this war is headed?